Well, as you can see, I've been on a record buying binge lately. Uh, I went to New York, I drove to New York, and along the way, I live in the Chicago area, and along the way to New York, I stopped at every record store I could find, basically. And by the time I came home, my car was basically filled with these records. And I know I haven't done a video in a long time. I really hadn't planned to do any videos until uh, my new house is done. We're building a house right now, and this new house will have ample storage area for records and CDs, and I will also have a dedicated media room. Some might call it a home theater, but I'm going to do as much as two-channel listening as watching movies in it. But anyways, until that house is built, these records have nowhere else to go except on the floor of my office here. So those are all classical CDs. I went all the way to New York and visited places like the Academy, Princeton, and a whole bunch of places in between there. But that's really not what I'm making this video about. What I'm really going to do is unbox this package that just came in the mail from Japan, from HMV Japan. And if it is what I think it is, it's 3 box sets from a label called Venice, Venecia, or something like that. I don't even know. But it's a reissue label, and as far as I know, the only place I can find them for sale online is on HMV Japan. They're probably sold throughout record stores in Japan, but as far as online sources, HMV Japan is the place to go for this label. And this label is basically a reissue label. Historical reissues mostly. You might call them a pirate label, I don't know. But basically they reissue classical performances that are out of print or out of copyright. And their transfers, I would say, are adequate, are okay. Some are better than others, but across the board they're pretty good. They're definitely not in the junky transfer like you might get on some of those very cheap labels, historical reissue labels, but they're probably not as good as something like Tara, or definitely not like as good as the people like Orfeo. Or sorry, I had to do an edit there. I just got a call on this phone that I'm recording on. I don't know if you can change it, but my phone evidently stops the recording when a call comes in. So I'm restarting here. But this is the Kutsevitsky box, 40 CDs, and then I got a Leinsdorf box, and this is also 40 CDs. I don't know if you can see it. It has this Leinsdorf box has his fairly highly esteemed Mozart symphony cycle that he recorded, I believe, in the 60s. Again, it's this label, you might call it a pirate label, but I think they only put out stuff that's legitimately out of copyright, at least maybe in Japan. And then they do a whole bunch of historical, direct-to-disc transfers. But the big thing here is this Knappertsbusch box. This thing is massive. It's, like I said, 203 CDs. And it has, I think, like 10 or more of his live Parsifal recordings from Bayreuth. And it has 3 complete Reen cycles. These are all live recordings. And then just a whole mess of other stuff that recorded live. I don't know if they put out any studio recordings that may be out of copyright. I think it is mostly live recordings, but I'm not sure if it's entirely live recordings. But this thing, as you can see, it's massive. It's kind of a cheap cardboard box. Let me see if I can turn it around and you can see the back of it. box out of here. There you go. Yeah, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 complete Parsifal recordings. Then it has 3 complete ring cycles. I believe they're all from Bayreuth. And a whole mess of just miscellaneous orchestra performances here. And then a mess of miscellaneous live opera recordings here. A couple of, or one D Meistersinger, Flying Dutchman, Magic Flute, Der Rosenkavalier, Marriage of Figaro, Fidelio, etc., etc. So it's like I said, you'll probably be able to find better transfers for some of these most famous performances that have been released by the big labels. I'm specifically thinking of the Parsifal recording that Philips released, I believe, like 1964, and things like that. But across the board, you're not going to find a huge collection of great transfers. It's just not going to happen. And this is as good as it gets right now if you want just a comprehensive edition of some of these conductors, these historical conductors. So that is it. There's no serial number on there, or it's blocked out or something. But you see, it's Venius is the label. And again, the only online source I have found for these labels is HMV Japan. I haven't even found them on Tower Japan or Tokyo CD or Tokyo Records or whatever that other one is. But you might find some other sources. Let me know. But so it's pretty cool. They're fairly inexpensive. I think this box set cost me about $300, which came out to about $1.50 a CD. And HMV usually has these multi-buy deals where you have to buy 3 box sets in order to get a substantial discount. So that's what I did with this order here. All right, so until next time, I'm trying to answer all your questions about some of my past videos on my classical CD collection. But like I said, I'm not going to plan on making too many videos, if any, until I get this house built. And then I'll have much more space to show you things and demo some of my electronics and audio equipment. All right? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.